So we've got some questions this week about the MyZone belts and how to interpret your results. Basically, for people that are new, that haven't seen the belts yet, it is literally like a belt that you'll wear like just below your chest, and it monitors your heart rate, how many calories you're burning, how much effort you're putting in, and what else am I missing? And your overall effort for your workout. I can go into that in more detail another time, but basically that's what the MyZone belt is. It's a really great way of monitoring your fitness and your progression. So the first question was how to interpret your MyZone results. So if we are looking at it from a weight loss point of view, let me just start again. It is dependent on your goals. So if we're looking at it from a weight loss point of view, then ideally you want to be focusing a bit more on like the calories that you're burning. So obviously if it's a weight loss focus, then you want to be burning ideally as many calories as possible in your sessions as safely as possible, not doing ridiculous workouts which aren't maintainable over long term. So something like the fit sessions which are maintainable over a longer period of time, you want to be looking at how many calories you're burning and also how many MEPs you're getting averagely throughout the month. You want to be hitting like a minimum amount of calories every session. Like ideally, this is a bit sort of a guesstimation, but around about 500 or 600 calories each session, especially in those fits because they're high intensity, they're full body, they use a lot of energy, so you're going to be hitting about 500 or 600 calories quite easily. Look at how many points you're getting as well, and just set yourself a target of how many points you want to achieve, because I can't generalize it, because someone that's brand new to training, has never trained in their life, they will get MEPs coming out their ears. They will get so many points because their body's not used to the intensity, so like their heart rate is going to shoot up so much and their points are just going to fly up. So it's all about you. So what I would say is look over all your workouts, look what your average amount of points are, and then and you can do this online, by the way. You can do it, you can log into the system as a user and look at it online as opposed to on the app, and then just set yourself either a MEP target or a calorie target each session. But if you're looking at it from a fitness point of view, what I would say is it'll come down to like testing and then retesting. So what I would say is do maybe like a shorter distance. It's like a 3, again, depending on your fitness, like a 3 or a 5K distance. And then obviously, let's just say you do 5K in 35 minutes, retest in 8 weeks. And ideally, you should be looking to see if your fitness has improved from like what you've been doing in your sessions. Same thing with 10K. If you want to do a little bit longer, do a 10K, then again in 8 weeks, retest to see if your fitness has improved over those 8 weeks. And so another question was about the different zones, and the green zone being like a fat burning zone, and the red and the yellows not being advisable to stay in for longer. So like on the topic of fat, like you're burning fat all day, every day. I'm burning fat here, like just sat here. Obviously, if I'm eating a load of crap and junk food, then I'm going to be using up that sugar more than anything. But for most people that have a healthy diet, you're using up fat as your main energy source. So whether there's different zones for fat burn or not, you're burning fat all day, every day anyway. When you're working at a very low intensity, then you do burn less fat. But overall, no, when you're working at a low intensity, you do burn more fat. But overall, your calories will be super low. So obviously when you're working hard on like the prowlers and the sleds, and you're working in those yellow and red zones, your calories are going to be shooting up. So overall, for weight loss and for fat loss, you want to be working hard in your sessions, hitting the yellows and the reds, because that's what's going to burn you most calories, as opposed to doing like a really low-paced sort of steady state workout. And on that, so the other part of that was yellow and red isn't advisable to stay in for a long time. Yes and no. We wouldn't say you want to do half an hour of sprints, but for most people, like again, brand new to fitness, like you're gonna be in the yellow zone for most of your workout if you're brand new to it, because you're just not used to the intensity. So there's no harm in being in an 80% zone, but if your workout is at like 90 and above, well, it's not going to happen actually. Your workout for half an hour is not going to be at 90 and above, because you'll stop. Your body will say stop, and you'll have to stop. So there's no harm in being in the yellow zone. But if you're working at yellow and red and you feel like you're pushing yourself, but overall like you feel okay, then stay in it. But if you're working in a yellow and a red zone and you're blowing out your backside and you're really, really struggling, then obviously slow down. But the yellow and the red zones is where you're going to improve your power, you improve your speed, improve your endurance. So you need to be working in these zones. Is there an optimal percentage of where we should be during the sessions? Again, it's one of those that it depends. It depends on what your fitness is, what your goal is. Fit ideally is meant to be high intensity, so your overall percentage should just be higher because you're working harder. But if your focus is to become overall fitter, to lose weight, to lose body fat, then your overall percentage in your workout just needs to be higher anyway, because you just need that intensity, especially if you've never trained like this before. And if it's lifting, then generally you want it to be a little bit lower, especially while you're doing the lifting sessions. I was speaking to Ellie the other day, and her heart rate was, I think it was red, about 90-ish, and she was about to go in to do her overhead press. And so he said to stop, slow down, let your heart rate come down a little bit, because ideally, in theory, you shouldn't really be about to go and do a lift, especially above your head, if your heart's in a yellow or a red zone. So if you're about to go and do a deadlift or a squat or an overhead press, then just look at the TV. If you're in a high yellow and red zone, then just rest for literally a minute. Take a longer rest. You don't need to rush through it like a circuit. Take your time, catch your breath, and then you'll be more set then to be able to do the lift properly. It's the best technique possible. And the last question was, how do you end the workout without taking it off? I don't think you can. I think I've asked this before, because I did an hour and a half bike ride, stopped for 20 minutes, my legs were on fire, and then did another hour or so back, and my overall percentage was really low. So, but the idea is that you're not meant to have that rest in between. So as soon as your workout finishes, just take the belt off, and then call it a day there. I hope that makes sense, because I've waffled on a little bit. If it doesn't make sense, please comment back and I'll try and explain more in person.